This is a follower-submitted story, and it is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Telling My Ex-Boyfriend's Parents He Wasn't Dead? Doesn't get much heavier than that, folks. First, I love your channel and have been a longtime follower and recent subscriber. I think you and Candy Thunder are great and offer honest and real responses and feedback for every story you share and would love your input on this situation. I hope you share it with your fans so I can see if I'm the asshole or not. Cool. Thank you. All names have been changed for privacy. I would like to say this did not happen recently and only came up because I shared with some friends the events and one of them told me I was an asshole on my part because I shouldn't have gotten involved. My ex, Austin, and I dated for nearly our entire time in high school. During this time, I had a lot of family issues and drama that led to me living with Austin and his parents up until we graduated. I loved Austin's parents. They are wonderful people. They opened their home to me so I wasn't forced into homelessness. They helped pay for most of my senior items, graduation regalia, and even helped finance a trip to Europe that Austin and I took right after high school. They were like a second set of parents, and I will forever be grateful to them and their generosity. Shortly after graduating, he and I moved into a house that we shared with his best friend Ryan and another former classmate. Not long after this, I found out that Austin had been cheating on me and even slept with someone in our bed, thus ending our relationship. He then decided that he would be joining the military and was heading off to basic training soon after. This all happened right before the holidays. Just before Thanksgiving, I received a call from Austin's mother. She wanted to coordinate dinner plans and find out when we could be at the grandparents' house for dinner. I was very confused because at this point, we had been separated for a few weeks and Austin was leaving very soon for training. I apologized and explained that I could not attend this year and that she needed to call Austin. He hadn't told his parents that we separated until then. Austin was set to leave for training, and he was given an out on our existing lease because I live in a heavily populated military town, and it is common here for residents to move frequently, so most landlords and property companies have the option for residents to cut out on the lease without fees. To add icing on that cake, Austin's best friend also decided to join, and they were shipping out together. They left me and the other roommate alone to cover the now much higher cost on our own, forcing us to break the lease, pay all of the fees, and move. The financial burden was overwhelming and frustrating, considering that his own decision on when he wanted to leave was solely based on wanting to get away from the situation because I was still upset that he had cheated on me. After he left, life moved on. I still talk to his parents from time to time, and they made it clear to him that despite our relationship ending, they still wanted to stay in touch with me. They would invite me over for dinner once in a while, not with Austin around. I did distance myself from his family, though, but would agree because I would feel guilty for not accepting invites when they have always been so caring and good to me. After Austin completed basic training, he was set to deploy to the Middle East and was given a week's leave before his deployment. He came home, visited his family, and then had Ryan drive him to the airport. Days later, his parents received a phone call from his commanding officer. He never returned to post. His parents called me to ask if any of our friends had heard from him. All snap, he went AWOL. At this time, we still had some mutual friends. They asked Ryan, and he said he took Austin to the airport, dropped him off, and has not heard from him since. Weeks went by, and no word. That turned into months and still nothing. He just disappeared. Every couple of weeks, I would get a call from his mom or dad asking if anyone had seen or heard anything. I explained again, week after week, no. None of the mutuals said anything to me, nor had I heard that he was around. I would ask how they and the family were holding up. They made flyers and posters, contacted the police, filed missing persons reports. It broke my heart that these amazing people were suffering and that they were worried for their son. 6 months went by and they got the call from the police, stating that they were going to decrease the search for Austin and that they should start considering the possible worst news a parent could have. He might be deceased. His parents were devastated. Here is where I might be the asshole. A little past 8 months after he went missing, I was leaving my bank, pulled up to the light, and next to me was Ryan and, you guessed it, Austin. I was shocked. I even had to do a double take because I was sure that I was seeing things, but no, it was definitely him. I immediately called his parents and asked if they had spoken to or heard anything about Austin. They both said no updates. I said, you should call Ryan and ask him if he's heard from Austin. His father hung up and called Ryan, and a few minutes later called me back. He said Ryan told him he hadn't heard from Austin and none of their friends had either. That's when I said, call him back right now. Austin and Ryan are driving right in front of me. They are together. He called back and told Ryan he knew Austin was with him and he had been lying to them all this time, and then it was finally revealed that Austin was alive and well and just decided that he didn't want to deploy to the Middle East and deserted. This, of course, opened a whole world of trouble for Austin. He was court-martialed for going AWOL during wartime. His family was angry at him for disappearing for months and letting them think that he was dead. It caused a lot of attention amongst his military unit, and it was kind of rough for him for a little while. My friend told me I was an asshole for calling his parents instead of letting Austin approach his parents directly on his terms, that I shouldn't have involved myself, and that I was just bitter about being cheated on and being stuck with the financial burden from the house, and I just wanted to get back at him for it. I explained that I honestly thought his parents deserved to know the truth as soon as possible and that it was the right thing to do. So am I the asshole? Wow, that was a ride. Hell no. Hell no. As I was reading through this and as I was reading the parts about your friend thinking that you were an asshole for getting involved, hell no. These people treated you like family. I mean, they essentially acted as parents to you for years, and they showed you nothing but kindness. And if you made the decision to keep quiet, that is action, right? So inaction is still taking action. You choosing to keep quiet about that would have caused them so much more pain. And then someday, if they found out that you knew and hadn't told them, they would feel the same way about you that they do about Ryan, because he was hiding Austin for them. And letting Austin approach his parents directly on his own terms, I think you saw what that would have been. It would have been never. Now, how this guy was just bebopping around town and expecting nobody to see him, I don't understand. But there's only so long he can hide for, and everything that happened to him, he deserved for those things to happen. And if you would have kept quiet about it, you would have been an accomplice somehow. You did the right thing. Your friend, I don't know what the hell your friend is thinking, telling you that you were an asshole for getting involved. It says a lot more about that friend than anything. I'd be concerned there. Just make a mental note. This person's got some wires crossed. Or maybe something happened to them. Maybe they were outed early in life for not a similar situation, but for something, and thinks that everybody just needs to mind their own business. This was your business. It was definitely your business. It was your boyfriend before he cheated on you, and that's when all this shit went down. You were part of his family for a long time, and you were still in contact with them. There was no way that this did not involve you at all. It was your business, and you did the right thing for his family. He had months to come forward. Months. How long was it total? Like 8 months? Is that what you said it was? A little past 8 months after he went missing. Yeah. Wow. He laid low for 8 months and wasn't noticed by anybody, and his buddy was just driving him around at the local bank or at the intersection by the local bank. Come on, man. Come on. NTA. And I would agree, Ann. So, yeah, obviously, Austin goes right here. And his solution is to run from problems. That's it. That's all he knows how to do, is to run. How many times here did he run from a problem? He ran from you when he cheated on you. So he gets this as well. Ran to enlist when he was going to get deployed, ran from that too. And now I'm sure once he got outed, ran from that somehow too. It's like that's the only thing he knows how to do is run. And that's a problem. And yes, Ryan, for letting the family go through that is definitely an ASCON 1 as well. It's terrible. That's terrible. It's just terrible. Yeah, Wayward, you did the right thing. Don't ever second guess yourself for that.